Hello, I'm here for Disturbing Horror, and I have a story for you tonight. It's a bit different from what I usually do, but I hope you like it nonetheless. This happened about 15 years ago when I was still living with my parents in a small town in Texas. At the time, I was really into body modification. I had gauges, I had a bunch of piercings. My hair was always dyed either red or black, and I was never without a full sleeve tattoo. I guess in a way I was asking for it. It all started when I got a phone call from an old high school acquaintance. His name was Jesse, and he wanted to know if I could help him find someone. I didn't really know Jesse all that well back in high school, but I knew he wasn't the brightest bulb in the socket. He'd always been kind of a loser, and the fact that he was calling me out of the blue made me think that whatever it was he needed, it was probably best that I just say no. But I asked him what was up anyway, and he told me that his girlfriend had gone missing. I mean, really missing. She disappeared without a trace, and the cops hadn't found anything out. Of course, I was curious now, and I asked him what her name was so I could keep an eye out for her. And that's when things got weird. He told me her name was Crystal, but then he corrected himself and said, "No, her name was Ashley." Then he corrected himself again and said, "No, I'm sorry, it's Jessica." And then finally he said, "No, her name is Sarah." And then he started laughing this weird, awkward laugh and hung up on me. For some reason, I couldn't get that conversation out of my head, and I kept thinking about it over the next few days. I'd known plenty of girls with those names, and none of them had been missing. I finally decided to call Jesse back and tell him that I was not interested in helping him search for his imaginary girlfriend. When he answered the phone, I could hear a woman in the background talking and laughing, but he still sounded awkward and weird. And he asked me why I had called him, which led to another weird pause. I told him that I was calling him because he'd called me, and then he hung up on me. About a week later, I was at home alone because my parents had gone out of town for the weekend, and I was getting stuff done around the house when I heard a knock at the door. I opened it, and there was this awkward guy standing there holding a bouquet of flowers. I knew that he was out of his element, and I was half expecting him to ask me for directions to the nearest gas station or something, but instead he asks me if I'm Jessica, and I told him no and closed the door. Later that day, I went out for a while myself, but when I came back home, there were 3 more missed calls from Jesse on my cell phone. The next day, I got 2 more phone calls and 3 more missed calls. After that, I blocked his number. Then one night, I was watching TV in my room and the news came on. They were reporting on the disappearance of a local girl named Sarah, and they showed her picture on the screen. I looked at the TV, and then I looked at the flowers sitting on my kitchen table, and I realized that Jesse wasn't just some loser high schooler. He was a killer, and he'd been using my appearance to hunt down women who he thought looked like his victim. That was over 15 years ago, and I still get freaked out when I see flowers just sitting on my doorstep. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like and a comment and subscribe for more disturbing stories. Also, don't forget to check out our new channel where we publish even more content than we do here. I'll see you next time.